People come from all walks of life. They all have lives they lead. Any and all are welcome here to come and chat with.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the show. Today's guest is somebody that I have a connection with through chillTV because we've both been part of Chilliwack Tonight. He is a writer, a producer, voice actor, and a short-form media producer, which I have no idea what that is, but I'm sure he'll explain. Time to meet Geoff Edwards. Hello, Geoff.
Hi, Nancy.
Thanks for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
Okay, let's start with what is a short-form media producer?
I've been all my career basically a chameleon, changing from, evolving with basically a career that has always involved a microphone. It's always involved ways of recording and sharing those recordings. So these days, short form content producer is kind of a term that talks about somebody that creates content that is interesting and viewable online for people to watch. And perhaps that person is somehow getting paid to do that by companies that want to associate themselves with that content. So if you can sort of see, this is just like an evolution of broadcasting, really, in my mind.
Can you give me an example?
Do you remember a web series called Chilliwack People?
No.
Okay, well, it was people from Chilliwack who were in some way altruistic, and I did an interview. So we did about 14 people, I think we did in all. And so I was just creating that content, and Simpson Notaries was the presenting sponsor of that. So these days, what I'm trying to do is I'm working with other partners, and we're trying to produce content that is either maybe TELUS wants to associate with it, or maybe it's a story, that's the Story Hive sort of angle that's out there right now. So content that is, probably, it's just something people would want to watch, right?
Okay.
And brands perhaps would want to associate themselves with that content.
Okay. So, another question is, what is a voice actor compared to a regular actor?
Just think about it. Really, I mean, it's just as obvious as you would think that would be to define. So for me, I play characters sometimes in front of a microphone, and people might put animation to that, or they might put it. Maybe what I'm reading or talking about is promoting something. So.
Okay.
So I take on sort of an identity to do that when I do that, and that's really what being a voice actor is to me. Okay,
great. I just want to explain to the audience that the reason why they see me looking away is because my camera's not right in front of your face, so I'm looking over, and I got to look at the camera when I'm talking to you. But
I'm totally trying to work on that angle myself, Nancy. It's just the nature of COVID-19, and everybody's learning to use Zoom, right?
Yeah, for sure. Okay,
yeah.
Now. You're a writer. What type of work have you written?
Well, so when I create content, it requires that I write a script for that content usually, and so I write scripts for content that I'm creating. I've written commercials. I've written radio. I've written all kinds of things throughout my career. So it's an appropriate term when you talk about me being a writer producer. So.
What are you currently working on, if anything?
Yes, I have several projects on the go. I really don't want to tell you what they are specifically, but those projects, one is with, it's around the music industry,
right?
It's associated with that and the entertainment industry. Another one has a First Nations angle, and I'm working with another producer to bring forth a project as well. So
awesome.
Those are the two main things I'm working on right now. And then I'm also working, doing some industry stuff, creating content for an agricultural company, helping them associate their brand with some interesting content. So
right. Well, at what point in your life did you get involved in this type of work to begin with?
Sorry, say again, Nancy?
At what point in your life did you decide to get involved in this type of work? Did you go to school for any of this
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got into radio in 1978.
Okay.
And um, when I got into radio, there really was very little in the way of education you could take to get into radio. So you kind of learned on the job. So that meant starting at the very, very bottom of radio, which is the all-night show, and working your way up. So I did that for about 9 years. I hosted the morning show on CHWK radio in 1986, a couple of years previous. So I did that, and then while at that time, I created a format for a radio show called the Canadian Top 20, which was a national countdown of the top 40 hits across Canada.
Nice.
You know, looking at me now, it might be hard to sort of think, what's that old man talking about? But, I was in my 20s and 30s in those days, and, working really hard. And, I created that show, and CBC picked it up. And so I ended up being on CBC through till about 1993, hosting a national radio show for them.
Very nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
So now let's move on to some more personal aspects of your life. Are you from Chilliwack originally?
No, I was born in England and I emigrated to Canada in 1967 with my parents, obviously.
Yeah.
And went to school through Chilliwack, though. Graduated from Chilliwack Senior High School. Yeah.
Do you have siblings?
I do. I have 2 brothers and a sister, and my sister lives in town, but my brothers live out of town.
So are they involved in any of the type of same careers as you, or is it some?
My older brother Graham is a musician, and
okay.
he worked with the Campbell River School District for many years as a music teacher, and he's always dabbled with composing and creating music, and has always, like me, had a recording studio at home.
Right.
So so he's in some way. My other brother is in construction, building homes in Alberta. So
that's quite different, isn't it? Yeah, from you. I mean, from you and your brother. Yeah. Okay, right. Well, that's really good. Now, what are some of your hobbies, or what is? No, wait for a second. What is something that really gets you excited?
It's funny because, we really love to travel, and we're really missing not traveling. And that is, I always go with cameras and audio recording equipment. So I guess what gets me excited is just finding that thing I want to share with somebody and pointing my camera at it and achieving something. You go, oh, that's cool, Edwards. I've always been like, I was always the guy that would, you'd come over to my house and you've got to hear this latest album. I've got to play it for you. Check out this track. And I just would get right into being the guy that sort of brought you the new stuff. So that's kind of what turns my crank, and it always has. And I'm very fortunate in that I've been able to sort of eke out a living. Like I tell people, I'm not rich, but I'm happy. Yeah,
that's nice. Well, you said we like to travel, so I'm assuming you have
my wife and I. Yeah.
That's it. You're not going to elaborate. Come on now. Do I have to?
Well, you and I talked about this, and we teased each other with our responses to it. But
I know.
I'm always the guy that is okay to be out here in front of people.
Sure.
I'm not shy about getting up in front of a very large group of people and talking to them, or being on camera, or talking into a microphone that's being broadcast out. That's me.
Yeah.
It's not everybody that is family to me. Some people like to have their own, privacy. It's not that they're ashamed of what I do, or they're it's just, I respect that about people, and I'm not one to sort of make, put people out there that don't want to be out there.
Yeah, I understand that. It's like when I invite people on the show, a lot of people said, no, it's not my thing. I don't try to talk them into it because I get it, right? Mm-hmm. So I do understand, but I just thought, I'd ask a little bit, just because sometimes it's fun to do a little poke. You know what I mean? In a nice way. I mean, because we've worked together basically on, with Chilliwack tonight. So, I figure we could have a little fun. Okay, so now let's talk about hobbies. Do you have any? And if so, what would they be?
I do like to play with wood sometimes. I've got some woodworking tools.
Oh, nice.
I've made some furnishings that I have at home here, but nothing anybody would go, I'm not serious about it. I hack things together and they look sort of okay. But
Right.
it's kind of fun because a lot of what I create is you can't really touch it or feel it. You can see it, you can hear it, but you can't touch or feel it. So it's kind of fun to just work with my hands and make things. And gardening, love gardening too. So.
Yeah. So what are the things you think you're going to do in the future?
I am going to continue to do what I'm doing. I'm really serious about trying to bring it to a newer level where we're not looking for advertisers to help us make our content, but we're finding funding to do our content. That would be the ultimate for me.
That would be the ultimate. Okay, well, that sounds really good, Well, I'm not sure what else to ask you, it's not a long interview because you're out there, so a lot of people know who you are or familiar with you with anyway, right? But I just wanted to, have you on because I think it would be fun, and I have no idea what else to ask you. But if there's something you want to share, that
I tell you what, because Nancy, a lot of my career has been as an interviewer myself.
Okay.
I thought actually I'm looking back on this interview and I'm thinking to myself, oh, Nancy's not a bad interviewer. You really sort of were able to seem real and not so tightly scripted and just sort of bound by some questions in front of you, which was good, I thought.
Yeah.
So tell me a bit about Nancy Guitar. Why are you doing this? Like, what's your background? Because I know very little about you, and I'm curious now.
I came into everything very late. I'm a late bloomer. Like I was in my 50s and I started doing some stand-up comedy and just realized how much I loved the stage. And then I got into, I happened to get into performing for the Vagina Monologues. And it just evolved from there. And then shortly before my husband passed away, I volunteered at chillTV because at that point they had a community access program. Mm-hmm. My goal was to have a talk show, an interview show, because I'm always so curious, your life is different from mine, you in general, not just you personally, yeah. Right? How did you get to where you are? What was that journey? I don't always delve into that. It just depends on whom I'm talking to. I just find people's stories, and I don't care who you are or what you do, just so fascinating. I love this. And then I just discovered that I have a talent for it, maybe, I'm not sure how to put it. I don't want to, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but it's just something that I just so enjoy doing. And I started doing this in my 60s. So like I said, everything came late to me in life. I would just, come from a large family, born in New Brunswick, grew up in Montreal, raised my kids in Ontario, and came out here and met my husband. And we had 15 wonderful years together before he passed away. I'm always excited. I'm like a little kid. Today, I'm excited. Something might upset me, but there's something else that might make me happy too, And I always look forward to tomorrow. Always, always, always. I love doing this stuff. The more I can do, the more I want to do. That's me.
Cool. Well, Nancy, I have to actually go to chillTV and record a bit for Chilliwack tonight.
That is so cool. I love to end it that way. Okay, just stay online while I adjust the audience, okay?
Okay.
Stay there. Well, Thank you for everything, people. I hope you enjoyed meeting Geoff Edwards. And if you want to be on the show, message me on Facebook or send me an email at smalltalkwithnancy@gmail.com. So see you next time. In the meantime, peace out.